MrFlavorsmith here, and today we're going to do something I've wanted to try for a long time. Never done it before, so this is going to be a first time, so follow me along on this adventure. What we're going to do is we're going to do a smoked chili. Previously, I went through and smoked some chuck roast. I have about 4 pounds on there in a pecan wood. Did a really awesome job on it, came out great. The sole purpose of that was to go in this chili, as well as 6 pounds of ground beef, 85% lean ground beef, and a concoction of spices that I whipped up that I think is going to be really flavoricious. Let's get to it. But first things first, we got to set this thing up, and I'm doing it using kind of a cool little method. All right, so we're using our 22-inch Weber. Let's take this grill off. Here comes the fun part. This is our ceramic Kamado insert. We're going to use a vortex style coal basket, and we are going to do a snake method. We're going to run it all the way around. Then we're going to put our heat deflection stone right on top. Just to protect our chili, we're going to take it one step further. We're going to put our heat deflecting plate right on top of our stone. We are going to use these two pieces as extenders for our pots, because I don't want to burn the bottom. We're going to set these just like this. And because we have a height issue here, we're going to use our Onlyfire Rotisserie Extension ring. Just like this. And that's our setup. Low and slow. We're going to try and do this at about 225 degrees. We'll stick with that. Hopefully we don't get a whole lot higher than that. And we are going to do this for 7 hours, turning it every single 45 minutes to 1 hour. So by turning it every 45 minutes to 1 hour, we're changing the surface area over the top of the chili, so our smoke can really get a good mixture in there and fully penetrate the entire chili. I'm breaking it up into 2 different pieces right here. Normally, a lot of people like to use cast iron. Here's the deal. This is dual 6-quart pots, and I do not have a 12-quart cast iron. And I want to make a lot of chili. When I make soups and chilies and things like that, I like to make a lot. So we're going to give it a shot with these enamel-coated steel ones. This should do the job. I don't have an issue with thing touching anything, so I shouldn't have to worry about burning too much. I mean, we should be really good with this setup. All right, let's pull all this out and let's get our fire going, get our snake set up. I used this once before on a previous video when I did the smoked chuck roast, the meat for this video. This worked really good. It just allows me to easily put in the charcoal right here and without having to delicately stack them vertically using like a 2x1 stack of B&B briquette. Now with this, I can just pour them in here like this. And today I'm going to be using my second favorite briquette to use. It's very affordable, gives good flavor. It performs really decent. It's the Cowboy brand briquette. So I'm just going to start pouring these in there. Do a little bit right here. And then we'll do a little bit right here. And just keep going. All right. And we'll go through, make it a little bit prettier, try and make it as even as we can. I'm shooting to get about 7 hours out of this on the long end, 6 hours on the short end, so we'll see. So I just want to kind of stack these in there as even as I can. That way we get a good consistent burn and we can control it. You know, we can always back down the fire by just controlling our top and bottom vents. All right, I'll put a little bit more in. A little bit more. There we go. That's good. Perfect. So what I'm really doing right now is I'm just going through making sure the height is all the same. And that's going to give us hopefully about the same temperature throughout this burn. And what we're going to do is we're just going to light it right here and it's going to burn slowly all the way around. We want to make sure not to connect this circle, because if we connect it and when you light it, it's just going to burn all the way around like this, and you're going to have 2 hot spots going. And we're going to have way too hot a fire here. All right, what I'm using to start the fire off is I'm using these Royal Oak tumbleweeds, the fire starters. These work really good. You can pick them up just about anywhere. We're just going to stick them over together on one side right here under our coals. Just make sure we've got kind of like a good little stack going on. Want to make sure that we have the coals that are right above it and next to it, making contact with each other as best as we can. just like this. That looks good. Kind of picky about how I like my coals. We're gonna go through and we're just gonna use our torch and we're gonna light those. I use a torch just for a few seconds there just to get the initial coals hot and let that fire get going. There we go. All right, let's get our wood chips. All right, and for our wood today, we're using the Weber pecan wood chunks. The reason why I'm going with this is that's what I did the chuck roast in that's going in here is I use pecan. So to keep that same flavor profile, I want to use pecan. We're just going to stack these bad boys on top of here. And because the goal of this is to actually get a real smoky flavor, we're going to put a lot of wood in here. It might sound kind of weird, but the meat is already cooked. Now we'll put our deflector plate on. I know it's going to be a little out of whack, but we're going to do it anyway. Oh no, that fit perfect. Awesome. Now we're going to put our heat diffuser plate on. Right like that. Awesome. And then we're going to put a rotisserie, our Onlyfire rotisserie ring on. Like I said, this is just so it extends everything. This thing usually just goes on one way for me. There we go. Center up our ring. Ooh, it's hot already. Look at that go. Just like that. Okay. Little plates right here, just like this. These are little bowls. This is just to elevate our chili off of the top. Right now, we're just gonna put this on here, open that vent up, opening the bottom vent fully. Perfect. Let's get our chili put together while this gets temperature. All right, first things first, let's start with the 6 pounds of ground beef. I went through and browned it. We're gonna go through, we're gonna evenly distribute this 6 pounds as best as I can. Our 6 pounds is evenly distributed as possible. Now it's time to bring the smoked chuck roast out, cut it up, and divide it evenly. Something I want to do right now, so I want to set up our heat probe. Now what I'm doing this for is I just want to be able to read ambient temperature. That is our receiver. This is our transmitter. We'll use just one heat probe and we'll use a bracket. That way we can read what our ambient temperature is so we know how to adjust our vents. It is crucial to have something like this in really any cook. That way you know what's going on, just as you would within an oven or something. This is our transmitter and this is our receiver. Turn it on. Turn it on. Probe goes in here like this, just like this. Perfect. All right, now comes the fun part, trying to figure out where to stick this probe, but I'll give it a shot. You know what? Yeah, we're gonna stick this bad boy. I'm just gonna try and stick it right here, see what happens. Just on its side. It should work. Give us a pretty good idea what's going on. It's not making contact with the pan, so we should be okay. Now what I'd like to do is we're gonna adjust our bottom and top vent. So we're gonna take our top vent, we're gonna close it to halfway. And then our bottom vent, we're gonna do the same thing. Let's check that out. All right, let's come all the way over here to the bottom vent. All right, our bottom vent is now at its fully open mark. That's what that represents. This is our halfway mark right here. And that little dot, that is our quarter of the way. Since Since we're going to try and get real low, we're going to push this all the way to the quarter way open. I have a video about how to control your temperature and everything on here where I go and I walk through how I actually marked these. You might want to check that out. All right, so right now we just set up the probe and we adjusted the vent. It says 135 degrees Fahrenheit and it's going up. So we're just going to keep them at like that because I know the temperature is going to rise. Let's get back to setting up this chili. Yeah, it's already sitting at 144 Fahrenheit, so it's going up. Let's shift some of this stuff around a little bit here. There we go. So here it is. You know, and I said we have 4 pounds. I already broke into this one a little bit. My wife wanted a roast sandwich, so that's already been broken into. But we're actually sitting closer to 5 pounds right here. Let's cut this stuff up right now and get it in here. Oh yeah, look at that. I'm telling you, this stuff was really, really, really delicious. I'm gonna take, you know, the obvious fat off as much as I can. I'm gonna cut this stuff into some decent chunks. I think chunks are the best way. And when I cook this, I cooked it to be a little bit drier just for this reason. So I'm doing like, I don't know, I'd say these are right around 1/2 inch thick slices, a little over 1/4 inch anyway. All right, now let's try to evenly divide these up. 1/2 and 1/2, that looks pretty good. Pot number 1, and then pot number 2. Let's continue the process. Same thing here. Wow, look at that. Just look how yummy that looks. There's just so much flavor in these. You know, I'm okay with a little bit of fat getting in there. There we go. And this is going to be cooking all day long for 6 to 7 hours. So these are really going to break down. Mix it so we get all those pieces that had some good juice on them. 1/2 there. Ooh, God. I tell you what, man, the color on these were, it was just amazing. I used to put jerky in some of my like stews and stuff when I was a kid, just messing around. And I tell you what, if you've never done that before and you're hard up for some smoky flavor, try putting some jerky. I know that's costly, but it works. Divide it up. On to the next ingredients. All right, what I have right here is 3 large red onions. 3 large red onions. And I've gone through and I've sauteed them with a combination of these chipotles, the chipotle peppers and adobo sauce. And I went through and I sauteed it, put a little bit of butter in there. I put about a tablespoon of minced garlic in there. I put a little bit of salt in there. I think I put a little bit of our Spade Ale seasoning on there as well that we're using on this cook. You'll see that in a second. But let's go ahead and check out the clip on how I did this. Same thing as before. I'm going to try and go ahead and evenly distribute half of this in there. Oh, and also I took the chilies out after I went through and sauteed it. Why? I don't want this to be super spicy. My family doesn't like crazy spicy stuff, but I tell you what, they came out really good. So we'll just kind of get one heaping spoonful in there. Go with one heaping spoonful in here. Another one in here. Tell you what, man, these onions, they smell amazing. Amazing. All right, let's get the other ingredients in there now. All right, so let's talk about our tomatoes and what we're doing. We went with a 28-ounce can for each one of these, okay? So this is a combination of these for this one, okay? So we have a 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes that have been fire roasted. So that's it. It's kind of pasty and it's going to thicken everything up. And then we went with this. How big is this? This is a 14.5-ounce can of Hunt's fire roasted diced tomatoes. So it's a little bit larger size. I wanted to go with the fire roasted in hopes that it's going to give it, you know, even more of a smoky flavor. So let's go ahead and put those in there right now. All right, first one. Here's our fire roasted, diced. Get all that in there. Perfect. Then we're going to go with the fire roasted crushed. That's going to go in there just like that. Perfect. And we're going to put the combo of both already mixed in this one. All right, get that. All right, let's mix pot number one. I tell you what, this is super meaty. Get a nice, good, sturdy spoon and just mix away. And another thing we're going to add to this, I'll get to that in a second, but let's just go ahead and mix it really good. Pot number one. Go ahead and do pot number two. So this is a beanless chili, more of a Texas style chili, but I wouldn't say this is Texas style, but the only thing that really kind of puts it as Texas style is it's gonna have a smoky flavor to it, and it doesn't have beans. This is gonna be a really hearty chili. Let's go get the other ingredients. All right, there it is. There's all of our spices that are gonna go into each one of these. So we've got a little ground cumin, we have some oregano, we have some black pepper, we have some smoked paprika, we have some chipotle pepper, we have some onion powder, and we have some Spade El Ranch. This stuff is amazing. It's a great seasoning. California granulated garlic and some kosher salt. All of that is going to go into one of these, and then there's the combo of all of it for the other one. Let's put them together. All right, let's get into it. Here we go. First item, 4 tablespoons of chipotle chili powder. That's it right here, the chipotle chili powder. 4 tablespoons. 3 tablespoons of smoked paprika. This is a smoked paprika, 3 tablespoons. 3 tablespoons of Spade El Ranch beef seasoning. That stuff likes to stick a little bit. It's probably the sugar content that's in there. We have 8 teaspoons of ground cumin, 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, 4 teaspoons of onion powder, 8 teaspoons of salt, 1 teaspoon of oregano, and 2 teaspoons of black pepper. All right, one more ingredient to hydrate this a little bit more. All right, let's get all these spices out of the way. Make some room. It's mixing time. We're gonna use some beef broth. We're gonna add that in here. I don't have a set amount, I'm just adding it. I'm gonna mix it. A little bit. We're just gonna keep going. Just mix and mix and mix. A little bit more. Feel that consistency there? We're gonna add a little bit more. So we're gonna lose a bunch of this because we are keeping this open, and that's how we're getting that smoke flavor in there. And so it's gonna dry out from time to time. That's why I wanna try and check it like every 45 minutes. As it is right now, I still feel it's a little dry. This will all reduce down over the 6 to 7 hours I'm targeting to try and do this for. Man, look at how hearty this stuff looks. I'll tell you what, this is gonna make some really good chili. All right, I think everything's mixed in pretty good. I'm gonna say right now, that looks good. It's kind of squishy, and we'll put it on. Let's mix in the other one now. I am happy to announce we're sitting at 223 degrees Fahrenheit right there. That's awesome. All right, with our internal temperature sitting at 223 degrees Fahrenheit, let's put this on. Pot number 1. Pot number 2. Close her up. It's 11:15. We're gonna come back at 12 and give it a turn. But before that happens, even though we're not using them today, I'd like to take a moment and wish us good luck. You know, you know. All right, everybody, it's been 45 minutes, and I just want to point out something. Check this out. Our ambient temperature has been sitting at 198. That is awesome. I tell you what, that little Kamado insert, ceramic insert by Skyflame, I'm just impressed every time I use it. This is my second time using it, and it's just blown my mind on how I can keep my temperature so low and so consistent. Top vent is sitting at 1 halfway open. Bottom vent is at 1/4. Let's open this up and see where we're at right now. That looks mighty flavoricious already. Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pull these bad boys off of here, and then I'm gonna stir them on a different thing because I don't think it's sturdy enough for me to stir in there. So let's do that now. Let's get some gloves on. That is gonna be hot for sure. Here we go. Let's pull off number 1. Coming off. Pull off number 2. All right, I'm gonna close the lid so we don't get too much oxygen going in there. Perfect. Let's stir. Wow, that looks good. Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh, this smells so good. Just stir it up real good. Oh wow. So awesome. That is a really hearty chili. It didn't get crazy hot in there, so it didn't dry out a whole bunch. So this is really, really awesome. Okay. All right, mix this up real good. So I don't even feel that I need to add any more beef broth right now at this point in time. All right, let's put it back on. Open her back up. Perfect. Let's put number 1 in there. Good. Let's put number 2 in there. Perfect. All right. And I've got one final ingredient. You're gonna love this. Secret ingredient, Hershey's Special Dark Chocolate. Yeah. You know why? It's a Halloween chili. And so I feel that this is just necessary. I've never done this before. We'll give it a shot. Look at that. Hershey bar. Half in one, half in the other. Let's go another 45 minutes. All right, everybody, we're an hour and 43 minutes into the cook. Ambient temperature is at 216 degrees. Let's see what it looks like. Look at that. That looks pretty good. All right, let's pull it out and mix it up. All right, there's our 2 pots. Put the hood back on. All right, let's get mixing. Oh my, man, this really smells good. This really looks good. All right, I think what I'm gonna do though is I'm gonna bump the heat up. I'm gonna get this thing cranking. Mix it in that candy bar real good. Get that chocolate bar melted away. Just gonna add to it. Take a look, let's get some good smoky flavor to it. It smells delicious. Flatten that back out so we don't get any burn spots. Flatten it back out. I'll put this back on. There. There. Alright. Let's put our hood back on. We're getting our burn from over here, so I want to put my vent over here. That way the hot air kind of comes up and over, exits out through the top. We're gonna keep our top vent like that. Let's check out our bottom vent. I really want to bump this temperature up now. So we're at the quarter way mark. I'm just gonna clear this out a little bit so it's good to do this every once in a while for the ashes. I'm gonna put it at the halfway point now, like that. We're gonna do that. We're gonna see what that does for the temperature. All right, let's come back in 45 minutes. All right, 3 hours and 20 minutes. Ambient temperature is sitting at 257 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm gonna just pull these off of here. We're gonna get to it right away. Ooh, doggy. We have some really good looking chili going on here. Even got a little boil going on. We got so hot there with that 250 degrees. Look at that. All right, I'm gonna close the lid real quick. Let's get stirring. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. That's looking like some mighty flavoricious chili. That sure does. Man, this smells, I wish you guys could smell this. I mean, to me, this looks great, but the way it smells, the color, the texture, I mean, this is really good no bean chili. I am so happy that I have 12 quarts of this stuff. All right, let's just pat that all down. And it still hasn't dried out. I haven't had to add anything. This has been great. It's just nice. It's reduced down just a little bit, but man. All right, let's stick this back on. Pot number 1 in its spot. All right. Perfect. Take a couple photos. Man, that is some really good looking smoked chili. Couldn't be more happy with the way this is turning out. You guys have got to try this. Close it up. Come back another 45 minutes. All right. 4 hours and 15 minutes into it. We have an ambient temperature of 252 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's take a look at it, see what they look like, mix it up. Ooh, look at that. Oh my. That looks amazing. Woo! Every time I open this up, I just get more and more impressed with this. All right, so we are going to shift these around a little bit. When I put this back, I'm gonna put this one over here and this one over here. But for right now, we're gonna call this number 1. We're gonna call this number 2. All right, it's time to mix it. We'll mix up number 2 first. Look at that. You see how it's got like a little bit of stuff on the top? Man, oh my gosh. Every time I see this, I just get more and more impressed. Ooh, look at that. Look how amazing this looks. Oh, I want to take a taste so bad. Really want to bite into that. Man, that's good. Okay, let's pat that down. Let's do it over Oh, man, that looks so hearty. It smells absolutely insane right now. Haven't had to add any broth to it at all. This has been just super cool. All right, let's put it back. Back up. Now I'm gonna put this one in the hot spot. I'm gonna put this one that was in the hot spot. This one, just like that. Put it back on. All right, we'll come back another 45 minutes. Just let everybody know that was, if I didn't say it already, that was at the 4 hour and 15 minute mark. We'll come back at 5 hours. All right, everybody, 6 hours into it. Ambient temperature, 246 degrees Fahrenheit. Oh, man, that really did liquefy. Let's see what our temperatures are. Look at that one. At 206. This one a little bit cooler, 199. All right, one final mix. Look at that. Wow. 6 hours. 6 hours. Man, I don't know if that's spicy looking. That's just delicious looking. Look at that. This was such a fun project. It took 2 days to do this. We've got close to 12 pounds of meat in these. 2 days of smoking. First day, 8 hours smoking that chuck roast. I mean, wow. Okay, guys, let's try it out. Look at that. Wow. Looking pretty amazing there. Super yummy looking chili. I'm gonna make myself up a dish. We're gonna bite into it. A little cheese on it. Put a little green onion on it. Cheers. All right, everybody, here we go. This has been 14 hours of cooking. At least 18, maybe 20 hours, all in total in preparation and everything. Let's see how this turned out. Oh my. Whoa. Man. That is so tasty. Whoa. I tell you what though. Whoa. Builds up. There's a little kick to that one. There's a little kick to that for sure. I am not a sour cream in my chili type person. I think people are gonna need this. So maybe I need to back down on the chipotle chili powder and maybe a little less paprika on the next one. I mean, it is crazy smoky though. So smoky. I'm gonna get a chunk of that chuck roast. See that chuck roast chunk? Look at that. Oh my gosh, look how good that looks. Oh, look at that chunk roast chunk. Oh, here we go. Oh my gosh. Just breaks apart in your mouth. Man, that is so flavorful. This is awesome. I would back down the heat, but hey, a lot of people like heat. My kids, they're not gonna dig the heat. But there's a lot of flavor in this. There is so much flavor. It's really hard to describe because I'm getting tons of different flavors that I didn't expect. I've really never had a chili like this before. If this just had a little less heat, I'd say that this would be an award-winning chili. Wow. Wow. Okay, everybody. If you got any value out of this content at all, please do me a huge favor. I put a lot into these videos. It takes a lot of time. Smash that like button and please subscribe to the channel. It helps me produce more valuable, flavorful content for you like this in the future. And until next time, live a life of flavor.